What's up guys, it's your bro Richie here. Today in this video, it is now part 2 on the Chevy Corvette. So today I'm on the second generation Corvette, the C2 from 1963 to 1967. So without any further ado, let's get started. But before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below. So comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you are alerted of when I make new uploads. Alright, without any further ado, let's get started. So the second generation Corvette, the C2 from 1963 to 1967. Alright, the second gen C2 Corvette, which introduced Stingray to the model, can't really say it right. Continued with fiberglass body panels, and overall was smaller than the first generation. The car was designed by Larry Shinoda, with major inspiration from a previous concept design called the Q Corvette, which was created by both Peter Brock and Chuck Polkman. I can't really say it right, but it's spelled Pohlmann, under the styling direction of Bill Mitchell. Earlier, Mitchell had sponsored a car known as the Mitchell Stingray in 1959 because Chevy no longer participated in factory racing. The car had the largest effect on the styling of this generation, although it had no top and did not give away what the final version of the C2 would look like. The third inspiration was a mako shark. So a mako shark Mitchell had caught while deep sea fishing. So the third inspiration was a mako shark Mitchell had caught while deep sea fishing. Production started from the 1963 model year and ended in 1967, introducing a new name, Stingray. The 63 model was the first year for the Corvette Coupe, and it featured a distinctive tapering rear deck, a feature that later reappeared on the 1971 Buick Riviera boat tail, with, for 1963 only, a split rear window. The Stingray featured hidden headlights, non-functional hood vents, and an independent rear suspension setup. Oh man, I gotta do it again. I forgot where I was. So yeah, production started for the 63 model year and ended in. So production started for the 1963 model year and ended in 1967, introducing a new name, Stingray. The 1963 model was the first year for the Corvette Coupe, and it featured a distinctive tapering rear deck, and a feature that later reappeared on the 1971 Buick Riviera boat. So 1971 Buick Riviera boat tail, with, for 1963 only, a split rear window. The Stingray featured hidden headlights, a non-functional hood vents, and an independent rear suspension setup. Corvette chief engineer Zora Arkus Duntov, who's both a Russian and American engineer whose work on the Chevy Corvette earned him the nickname Father of the Corvette. He's sometimes erroneously referred to as the inventor of the Corvette. That title belonged to Harley Earl. He was also a racing driver, appearing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans 4 times and taking class wins in both 1954 and 1955. Even though he was Russian and American, he was actually born in Brussels in Belgium. Don't know, like, makes no sense, but oh well. So, Corvette Chief Engineer Zora Arkus Duntov never liked a split rear window because it blocked rear vision. But Mitchell thought it to be a key part of the entire design. Maximum power output. Maximum power for 1963 was 360 horsepower, which was pretty good, and was raised to an extra 15 more horsepower, which is good, to 375 horsepower. It's not bad. It's a pretty good amount of power for a car like that. Back in 1964. That's pretty cool. Options included an electronic ignition system, the breakerless magnetic pulse triggered Delcotronic, which I don't know what that is, first offered on some 1963 Pontiac models. On 1964 models, the decorative hood vents were eliminated, and Duntov, the Corvette's chief engineer, got his way with the split rear window. Changed to a full width window. Four-wheel brake rotors or disc brakes were introduced in 1965, and was a big block engine option. The 6.5-liter V8 side exhaust pipes were also optionally available in 1965 and continued to be offered through 1967. So in 1967, the introduction of the 425 horsepower. It's a lot of power. 425 horsepower is pretty good. So 425 horsepower, 6.5 liter, even though it says 6.49, but rounded up is like 6.5 liters. Big block V8 in 1965 spelled the beginning of the end for the Rochester fuel injection system. Rochester fuel injection system. The 396 cubic inch 6.5 liter option. So the 6.5 liter option costs $292.70, which is like roughly rounded up like almost $293, while the fuel injected 5.36 liter engine cost a whopping $538. Few could justify spending $245 more for 50 extra horsepower. Well, not more, but less, like 50 horsepower less. Even though FI, which is fuel injection, could deliver over 20 mpg on the highway and would keep delivering fuel despite high G loading in corners taken at racing speeds. Another 1963-64 option was the Z06 competition package. So Z06 competition package, which offered stiffer suspension, bigger multi-segment lined brakes with finned drums, and so on and so forth, and like more parts. Only a couple hundred coupes and a single convertible refractory equipped with this in 1963, with only 771 fuel-injected cars built in 1965. Chevy discontinued the option at the end of the 1965 production, having introduced a less expensive, so cheaper, big block 396 V8 engine rated at 425 horsepower. 425 horsepower is a pretty good amount. In the middle of the production year, and selling over 2,000 in just a few months. For 1966, Chevrolet introduced an even larger 427 cubic inch 7-liter big block version, so that's cool. Other options available on the C2 included the Wonderbar auto tuning AM radio, Wonderbar auto tuning, so automatic tuning AM radio or stereo, however you want to call it, AM FM radio for mid-1963, air conditioning for late 1963, a telescopic steering wheel 1965, and headrests 1966. The Stingray's independent rear suspension was successfully adapted for the new 1965 Chevrolet Corvette, which solved the quirky handling problems of that unique rear engine. Compact. 1967 was the final model. So 1967 was the final model year for the second gen. The 1967 model featured restyled fender vents, less ornamentation, and backup lights or lamps, which were inboard in 1966, became rectangular and centrally located. The first use of all 4 taillights in red started in 1961 and was continued through the C2 lineup except for 1966. This feature returned for the 1967 model year and then continued on all Corvettes since. The 1967 model year had the first L88 engine option that was rated at 430 horsepower, but unofficial estimates placed the output of 560 horsepower or more. Only 20 such engines were installed at the factory. From 1967 through 1969, the Holley triple two-barrel carburetor, or tri-power as you call it, was available on the 427 L89, a $368 option on top of the cost for the high-performance 427 7-liter V8. Despite these changes, sales slipped more than 15%, to 22,940, 8,504 coupes or coupes, off close to 15%, and 14,436 convertibles, down nearly 19%. Down nearly 19%, round up like almost 20%, roughly 20%. Duntov came up with a lightweight version of the C2 in 1962. Concerned about Ford and what they were doing with the Shelby Cobra, GM planned to manufacture 100 to 125 Grand Sport Corvettes. There we go. But only five were actually built. They were driven by historic drivers such as Roger Penske, A.J. Foyt, can't really pronounce it. It was spelled Foyt, and then Jim Hall, and like amongst amongst other drivers. Those 5 cars from like so those five cars from like 2001 to 2005 are all held by private owners and are among the most both coveted and valuable Corvettes ever built. 2002 is exhibited. So 2002 is exhibited in the Simeon Foundation Autumn. So Simeon, can't really pronounce it, but it's, well, hard to really say, but it's spelled Simeone. So Simeone, Simeon, I think. Foundation Automotive Museum, and is in running condition. Alright, so for part 3 will be about the 3rd generation Corvette, which is the C3 from 1968 to 1968 to 1982. Alright, so I'll take a bit of a break. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this one, like and subscribe, comment down below what you all think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you are alerted when I make new uploads. Alright, so I'll be back a little bit later for part 3, which is the 3rd generation Corvette, the C3, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I'll see you guys soon in the next video, but until then, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.